What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? Welcome to Shay's Tube Late Night Chat, y'all. I had to come and do this live late tonight because I got in later. All right. Actually, I got in earlier, but I had to go back out and actually work and everything. So I'm here tonight. I don't know if anybody's going to come in, but I'm still going to go ahead and do this live. Um, y'all don't forget, if you like this video, don't forget to thumbs up. And if you're not subscribed to the channel, please subscribe below and hit the bell notification so you can be notified of any upcoming videos. All right. And check out all of my other videos. I just did a at-home store shopping haul the other day. And I did a Dollar Tree haul on Saturday. So check those videos out and check out my shorts. I just made a real serious short. So check that out. Anytime you put something serious, a lot of times, you know, YouTube don't show them all the time and people don't get a chance to see it. But just check out that video, that shorts. Okay? And thank you so much. All right, guys. Tonight we are going to cover the case of Jared. Can't pronounce his last name, but Jared Scheierl. I don't know if that's correct. And Jacob Wetterling. Okay, I'm going to talk about Jacob most of the time, and I'm going to tell you how Jared and Jacob case connected and how after 27 years they found out what happened to Jacob. All right, he was missing for 27 years, and finally a break in the case came in 2016. A YouTuber by the name of Joy Barker, if I'm not mistaken, let me check her name. She actually started investigating the case and brought awareness back to it, and ended up a detective. I think a detective called her, and next thing I know, they end up checking out a guy and ended up finding out that the guy is the one who committed this missing, this sexual assault and kidnapping, and ultimately he killed the little boy. So we're going to go over that case tonight, all right? But before we go over that case, let me just go ahead and go over the Copyright Disclaimer Act. Under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976, allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, education, research, and etc. Like always, that copyright disclaimer is in the description area of this video, as well as the comment area, and it will be, it will be in the comment area, and it is scrolling across that video. All right. Welcome to everybody in the bushes. Thanks to everybody who watches this in the replay. All right. So anyway, let's go ahead and go right into this story. I'm not probably going to really cover too much breaking news tonight. I am probably going to cover about 3 stories, though. So we're going to go through this so we can get out of here because I know it is late, and I do have to do my son's schoolwork for tomorrow. And I have an appointment early in the morning, so I got to hurry and get through this, okay? I'm not going to try to go through it where you can't understand the story, but I am going to go through it kind of super, not quick, but, fast, all right? So anyway, so as I was saying, that this little boy, I'm going to tell you exactly what happened first, and then I'll tell you the rest of the information that goes with it, okay? Okay, so let's see here. Hold on. Let me get this story, y'all. Hold on. Okay. So, Jacob Wetterling, if I'm saying it correctly, he was an American boy from St. Joseph, Minnesota. He was kidnapped from his hometown, and murdered on October the 22nd, 1989, at the age of 11. His kidnapping remained a mystery for nearly 27 years. This is the little boy right here. And right now, I'm reading this off of Wikipedia, but I actually have a bunch of articles and stuff to go by. I don't know what is going on with my camera. Okay, so we won't be able to see. I don't know what's going on with this camera. Let me see what happened here. See, these people being here closing my camera. Let me see something real quick, y'all. Hold on. So let's see if it come back on now. Yeah, so they closed the camera. They must have been on my computer. So this is him right here. And see, that's pretty good. I don't know. I can cut that off like that. If I make a mistake and turn on my camera, you don't see anything. Look at that. Nothing. Okay, that's cool. I like that. But anyway, this little boy, like I said, disappeared on October the 2016, if I'm not mistaken. But anyway, let me go ahead and go over this story with you guys. So, yeah, on September the 1st, 2016, the Minnesota Bureau of Criminal Apprehension recovered human bones from a pasture. Actually, he was missing before 2016. He was found then, y'all. Anyway, they recovered his bones near Painesville, about 30 miles from the site of his kidnapping, all right? On September the 3rd, Jacob family announced that the bones were that of their son. And local police stated that the identity of the bones had been confirmed by his dental records. Anyway, the location, y'all, was revealed by Danny Heinrich, a longtime person of interest in the kidnapping of another boy, 12-year-old Jared Scheierl, I think. I think that's how you pronounce his last name, in the nearby town of Cold Spring. On September the 16th, 2016, Heinrich confessed to kidnapping and murdering Wetterling, as well as kidnapping and sexually assaulting the other little boy, Jared. All right. So let me just go ahead and tell you exactly what happened. Okay. So on Sunday, October the 22nd, 1989, just after around 9 p.m. Central Daylight Time, Jacob and his brother Trevor, who was 10, and a friend, Aaron, who was 11, were bike riding home from a Tom Thumb convenience store in St. Joseph, Minnesota, where they had gone to rent a video. Danny Heinrich, wearing a stocking cap mask and armed with an unloaded revolver, came out of a driveway and ordered the boys to throw their bikes into a ditch and lie face down on the ground. He then asked each boy his age. Jacob's brother was told to run toward a nearby wooded area and not look back, or else he would be shot. Heinrich then demanded to view the faces of the two remaining boys. He picked Jacob and told Aaron, his friend, to run away. And he also threatened Aaron, and like I said, he threatened Jacob's brother. And that was the last time Jacob was seen alive by anyone other than his captor. That is crazy. Anyway, years later, in May 2014, investigators confirmed that they were taking another look at a series of attempted and actual child molestations that had happened in Painesville area in the 2 years preceding the Wetling kidnapping. Now, between the summer of 1986 and the spring of 1987, 5 teenage boys were attacked, but no one was ever arrested. The police interviewed some of the victims again and worked with the internet blogger who had brought the information to light. Now, let me stop right there. The internet blogger I just told you about, stay on phone over there, keep on ringing. The internet blogger that this article is referring to is Joy Baker or Barker. She brought light into the case, and I'm going to tell you about her in a minute. This is the only internet blogger that I have ever seen who actually was looking at a case, investigating the case. And let me hold on for a minute, y'all. I'm tired of this damn phone. Hold on. Damn. Hell. Hold on 1 second, y'all. This is ridiculous. It's like as soon as I got on the bed going live, this phone started all this damn ringing. Okay, so anyway, as I was saying, Joy is one of the only internet. I don't know. It could be others, but she was, and she is still an internet blogger, creator, right? YouTube creator, and she brought light into this entire situation, this case. And her bringing light into the case made the police start looking at it again. Okay, so I'm going to tell you about her in a minute, but let me finish reading this. Anyway, where was I at? Anyway, as I was saying, the guy who was suspected of doing all the kidnapping these kids and stuff, he was questioned by the FBI on December the 16th, 1989, and a DNA sample was taken, but he was not charged with a crime and was released. Then in 2015, Heinrich's DNA was matched to the DNA taken in the case of Jared, who was kidnapped in a nearby Cold Spring in January of 1989 at the age of 12. The statute of limitations, though, expired for the Cold Spring kidnapping, meaning Heinrich could not be arrested and charged with that crime. So anyway, a search warrant was issued and child pornography was found in his house, leading to his arrest on October the 28th, 2015. All right. Anyway, Heinrich decided to cooperate with police as part of a plea bargain. And on September the 1st, 2016, led investigators to a burial site. There they found Jacob's clothing and human remains. They were unearthed from a pasture near Painesville, about 30 miles away from the Wetterling home in kidnapping site, in a short distance from where Heinrich was living in 1989. Let me turn it off too, I'm telling you. Okay. On September the 3rd, the remains were confirmed through dental records to be Jacob's. His mother, Patty, told television station KARE 11, a local NBC affiliate, that the remains found were indeed Jacob's. She said, "All I can confirm is that Jacob has been found and our hearts are broken. I'm not responding to any media yet as I have no words." So anyway, in the plea agreement, Heinrich agreed to plead guilty to one count of the 25 federal child pornography charges brought against him. In addition to revealing the location of the body and pleading guilty, he also agreed to testify as to the details of the Wetterling crime. At a hearing before Judge John Tunheim of the United States District Court for the District of Minnesota, Heinrich testified that he kidnapped and handcuffed the boy, drove him to a gravel pit near Painesville, molested him, killed him, and buried his body. That's a damn shame, y'all. Heinrich said that he was able to avoid police that night by listening to a police scanner. He said that he came back to the site a year later and moved the body after noticing that Wetterling's jacket had become exposed. During the court hearing, Heinrich also admitted to kidnapping and sexually assaulting Jared earlier that year. Now, Jared, like I said before, was the little boy that he kidnapped and sexually assaulted, molested, right after he did, kidnapped Jacob. Okay. So that case right there actually really brought more attention to Jacob. And when the bloggers started researching it, it really opened up everything. As I'll tell you guys about that though when I read about her. Now, anyway, in exchange for Heinrich's plea, the prosecutors agreed not to charge him with the Wetterling's murder. In accordance with the plea agreement, Heinrich was sentenced to the maximum prison term of 20 years for the child pornography charge. In addition, the plea deal will allow state authorities to seek his civil commitment as a sexual predator at the end of his federal prison term, which could prevent him from ever going free. In sentencing Heinrich, Judge Tunheim said, "We won't pretend that this crime and sentence is about child pornography. It is also about changing the lives of so many children and parents who prayed for Jacob's return and also feared you coming out of the dark. Every child knows the story of Jacob Wetterling. You stole the innocent of children in small towns, in the cities of Minnesota and beyond. This pervert, this molester, this criminal, this evil man was going around during that time molesting, kidnapping, and molesting kids. That's what he was doing, boys. Anyway, although Heinrich could be released in 17 years from the start of his prison sentence, Judge Tunheim told him that it was unlikely, as this crime is so heinous, so brutal and awful, that it's unlikely society would ever let you go free. In January 2017, Heinrich was transferred to Federal Medical Center, Devens, a federal prison in Massachusetts. to serve his 20-year sentence. Okay, so now that's some little backstory on that entire case, which is crazy. All right, it's just crazy. So let's go ahead, excuse me, and finish telling you about this story. I'm gonna go to another article though, because I don't want to keep on reading from Wikipedia. Anyway, around I think a couple months or a year, I can't remember, but I'm gonna go to the case right now and let you guys know. Hold on for a second. Let me find this other dude's name right here. Hold on, wait a minute, y'all. So the other little boy, Jared, I believe his name is, was sexually assaulted by this dude. Okay, in January 1989, then 12-year-old Jared was sexually assaulted by a man in Cold Spring, Minnesota. 9 months later, 11-year-old Jacob Wetterling was kidnapped by a masked gunman. Okay, so the other little boy, I thought it was vice versa. So the other little boy was sexually assaulted first. Okay, but I thought they said the other way. Okay, I'm just going to read this article. And then, but I think he got away, or either he let him away. I think he let him get away because I think he told him that if he said anything, he was going to find him and kill him or something like that. So let's go ahead and finish reading this. Anyway, 9 months later, 11-year-old Jacob Wetterling was kidnapped by a masked gunman biking home from a convenience store in nearby St. Joseph. The 27-year-old mystery surrounding Wetterling's kidnapping came to a sad end in recent days when his remains were discovered in Stearns County in central Minnesota. Okay, let's see how it connected. So anyway, Heinrich was questioned in 1990 about a series of sexual assaults, including Jared's case, okay, and Jacob's case, but was never formally charged, as I told you guys before. Excuse me. The FBI named Heinrich, now 53, a person of interest in the Wetterling case last October. And the same day, he was charged with 25 counts of child pornography stemming from a search in his home. So anyway, police announced that DNA was taken from Heinrich in 1990, and they linked that DNA to Jared's assault, which is the other little boy that he molested and sexually assaulted, which is, I guess, the same thing basically. He sexually assaulted him first. I actually thought the other little boy was done first, but it was actually Jared who was sexually assaulted first and kidnapped, but he let him go. Okay. Anyway, a discovery made by investigators in 2015, that discovery linked Heinrich to both Jared and Jacob's case and knew that the same person, basically, they felt like the same person committed both crimes. But anyway, Heinrich would not face any charges because of statute of limitation, which sucks. But Jared filed a civil suit against him in May, accusing him of sexual battery and false imprisonment. Because again, when he kidnapped that little boy, Jared, he kept them, captive. All right. And then I think he must have, was abusing him and things like that. Anyway, Jared did an interview, okay, and he had his little son with him, and he was talking about the case and what happened to him and everything. So in the interview, oh my God, why did I skip through this thing? In the interview, this man said, hold on, y'all, let me get back to this. I don't know why this changed like this. Hold on, let me go back to where I was at. It just skipped by itself. Oh, wait, it just get. So in the interview, hold on, y'all, let me get back to it. In the interview, he said, it's 27 years later, and I'm looking at my own 12-year-old boy. This is what Jared told the CBS Minnesota, okay? He said it was a moment that was spiritual, kind of surreal. I am still processing it in some ways. Okay. Now, the father of three, Jared, said the assault still affects him and that he is constantly thinking of his children's safety because there's a lot of predators out there. Call me a helicopter dad, but fear of children's safety has always been one of my biggest concerns, Jared said. Jared told the station he's relieved that the Wetterling's family may now finally find closure, and he thinks he may be able to do so as well. He said he's not sure what prompted Heinrich to allegedly cooperate with investigators now. Sitting in jail for a year, reflecting on the past, Jared said, the truth catches us. The truth will come out. Jared said he was angry when he learned that Heinrich couldn't be prosecuted in his case because of the statutes of limitations. He said he hopes to talk to Heinrich face to face. Investigators had long suspected Jared's case was connected to Jacob's case. As part of the fresh look into Wetterling's kidnapping around its 25th anniversary, investigators took another look at Jared's assault. Now, using technology that wasn't available back in 1989, investigators found Heinrich DNA on the sweatshirt of Jared. Richard Thornton, special agent in charge of the FBI's Minneapolis office, said when police announced Heinrich's arrest last October, they used that evidence to get a search warrant for Heinrich's home. Let's see where we at right here. This thing is always jumping. While they didn't discover anything to firmly tie Heinrich to either Wetterling's kidnapping or the assault on the other boy, which is Jared, they found a large collection of child pornography. Heinrich was charged with 25 child pornography counts, to which he pleaded not guilty. At the time of his arrest that year, he has done since 1989, Heinrich insisted he was innocent in the Wetterling's disappearance, but he obviously was lying. The Stearns County Sheriff's Office released few details over the weekend about the new developments in the Wetterling's case and no fresh information, but said that authorities expected to be able to provide more details early this week. Jacob's mother, Patty Wetterling, became a nationally recognized advocate for the cause of missing and exploited children. A 1994 federal law named for Jacob requires states to establish sex offenders registry. So now you know where that law came from. It came from Jacob, because he got, kidnapped and murdered, sexually assaulted and all that stuff. And no telling what else the man did to him. But I'm going to tell you, if I can, I think I have a article where he told everybody what he did. Anyway, the Jacob Wetterling Resource Center released a statement on its Facebook page saying the staff was in deep grief. They said they did not want Jacob's story to end this way. They said their hearts are heavy, but we are being held up by all of the people who have been a part of making Jacob's hope a light that will never be extinguished. They said, Jacob, you are loved. Okay, so this is this weird ass man right here. So now he should be, I don't know how old this pervert is, okay? Hold on. I just know one thing, he was going around kidnapping little boys. That's him right here. And right now, he is in prison serving his term. Okay, so let me go ahead and go to this other story about this. Hold on, y'all. Hold on 1 second. Okay, wait a minute, hold on. So remember, excuse me, when I was telling you that about Jared, that he gave the voice to Jacob's case, let me just tell you guys about that first. I know they're going to repeat some things, so you got to bear with that because they are going to repeat the case. So this is the guy, Jared, who was molested at 12 years old, kidnapped and all of that stuff, sexually assaulted by that pervert. That's him grown. Now, he was let free, all right? Or he got away. Anyway, Jared got the call while driving his 12-year-old son beside him in the passenger seat. The man who had kidnapped and assaulted him in 1989, when Jared himself was 12, had led investigators to Jacob's remains. He looked at his son through tears. He said, "Wow, you are like one of the first people to know. They found Jacob Wetterling." The call was an answer to the question Jared had been raising for years. Was the man who snatched him from a dark road in Cold Spring in January 1989 responsible for taking Jacob 9 months later? That is crazy. Investigators had long explored a possible connection, but in recent years, Jared, 40, put a face to the question by telling his story, out in the public. And he also pressed investigators for answers and asked other victims to come forward. Anyway, we already know the man confessed and everything, but Jared, when he went to court, said there are no words for it. It was so long awaited, so necessary, and so moving. The news hit Jared hard. He has been overwhelmed by the notes of gratitude and praise. He's relieved that the Wetterlings have answers. He is also deeply sad that Jacob never made it home. In public notes Thursday, others close to Jacob in the Wetterling family expressed similar emotions. Aaron, who was the best friend who was with Jacob, and his younger brother Trevor on that warm October night in 1989, thanked people for all the thoughts and messages. "I feel Jacob and the goodness of him all around me," he wrote. "That doesn't stop. Hope doesn't stop." On Facebook, Jacob's siblings said they have received support from people all over the world who have been touched by Jacob's hope, adding, "We feel your love." From the beginning, Jared, the other little boy who was kidnapped and sexually assaulted and things, spoke up to get answers for the Wetterlings. He said it wasn't about me. He said that they found out what happened to Jacob, and it is a miracle. In the end, like I told you guys before, DNA found on the sweatshirt of Jared that he had on during the 1989 attack, it matched Heinrich, leading to the search of his Allendale home and federal child pornography charges. A month before Heinrich was set to go on trial for those charges, he agreed to a plea deal, like I told you guys before. All right. Anyway, Jared was struck by the coincidence. His family had moved to Painesville when he was 13, and he lives there today on 80 acres on the river. That land has been my little sanctuary during dark days of investigation, he said. It's been a long, strange trip. In May, Jared sued Heinrich in Stearns County just before the end of the 3-year window opened by Minnesota Child Victims Act. For nearly 25 years, Jared thought he was the only other victim. But then, more than 3 years ago, a blogger named Joy Baker contacted him. That's the blog I was telling you guys about. And together, they dug into old articles and new leads. And those old articles and all that stuff, brought more light into the situation. It was Jared who willingly put himself out there, reaching out to victims and sharing his own story so that they might in turn be willing to share their own. Baker wrote in a blog post this week, without Jared, this story would have never unfolded the way that it did. So when that blogger and him got together and started digging into old articles and new leads, that encouraged the police to start looking at things as well. Anyway, Heinrich's arrest last year came with the news of the DNA match. That match would not be expected to occur more than once among unrelated individuals in the rural population. according to the criminal complaint. I didn't need a confession, Jared said Thursday. I had an answer. But from the front row of a packed federal courtroom that week, Jared got a confession anyway. Okay? Hold on. Let's see where I'm at. On January 13, 1989, a prosecutor asked Heinrich, did you in Cold Spring, Minnesota, kidnap and sexually assault Jared? And Heinrich said, yes, I did. Heinrich recounted driving around in Cold Spring looking for a child. And I need y'all to listen if you have kids out there, okay? Because this is what these predators do, all right? They be watching your kids, all right? When you be having your kids out there walking home by themselves, in the twilight zone, because those kids are not thinking about getting kidnapped, especially back then. They definitely wasn't, but even now, I'm telling you, you guys got to go pick up your kids from school and make sure you're going outside with them. I don't care if they're 13 or 12 or 14. Send somebody older or something out there with them. You know what I'm saying? Still today, I see a little bit of kids look like they're around 5 years old, 6 years old, walking to school and walking from school. One day I saw a little boy walking home from school. I actually sat there and watched him go all the way to his neighborhood. I really did, because I wanted to make sure nobody would touch him. Just like one time when I was doing Lyft, and we are not supposed to pick up people, little kids, right? But anyway, the mom called me on the phone and asked me, could I pick up her son and take him home? I actually did it. Yeah, I really did, because I didn't want him to stand outside, by himself, and then something happened to the little boy. And then I'm basically, feeling guilty because I'm leaving him out there trying to obey Lyft's rules. You know what I'm saying? So I picked the little boy up anyway, talking to his mom on the phone, and took him home. Because, you got a lot of people, for real, that sit around, don't be doing nothing but driving around looking for people, little kids and teenagers, and sometimes grown people. So you got to be very cautious, because this dude was driving around in Cold Springs looking for a child when he noticed a boy walking on a dark street. And this is what I keep on telling you guys. You cannot let your kids be out here walking in on these dark streets, light streets either. Because the other little boy, I think it was light. They were riding on a bike coming from school, from the convenience store. Anyway, this freakazoid, this pervert, then rolled down his window and asked Jared for directions. Then he grabbed him and stuffed him in the back seat. He parked on a winding road, and there he sexually assaulted that little boy. Then he told him to get dressed, but kept his pants and underwear. For what purpose? That's what attorney Steve Scheierl asked. That's weird. I know what purpose. He wanted to keep his clothes, his underwear. What did he keep? Let's see. Hold on, y'all. Yeah, his pants, underwear. He wanted to keep them, much like some men like to keep women's underwear. This dude right here is a pervert, okay? And that's on everything. So anyway, they said maybe for a souvenir, I guess. That's what Heinrich said. He told the little boy, Jared, to run and not look back, or he would kill him. So he did let that little boy go after he sexually assaulted him. Anyway, Jared, sitting near the Wetterlings, looked down. He was praying. He said Thursday, trying to find peace through meditation. It was strange to hear Heinrich own up to his crimes, he said. I didn't sense any sense of remorse. At a news conference after the hearing, an emotional Patty Wetterling thanked Jared, with whom she's become close. So let me tell you guys. So Jared, Jacob's mom and family, as well as Joy Baker, the blogger who helped catch this pervert, they're all friends. They're close friends right now. Okay? And I'm going to tell you straight up, that is the only blogger. I don't know if there are any other, but that is the only blogger that I know of that actually helped for real. No lies, no playing games, none of that. Get this case covered in, Soved. The only one. Anyway, they said Jared had the courage to stand up and say, this happened to me and there are others, she said. By Thursday morning, Jared's voice mailbox was full. Reporters, family members, friends on Facebook, dozens of messages, some from fellow survivors from as far as Denmark. In Dubai, many call him a hero. This man been everywhere, you know, molesting and sexually assaulting kids and things like that. Anyway, he praises others as the unsung heroes, including online sleuthers, law enforcement, and Patty and Jerry Wetterling. But on Thursday, deciding to have a little fun, he wore a T-shirt with the Captain American shield while he was interviewed on CNN. Victims' right activist John Ross suddenly appeared on screen. You know who that is? That's the guy where his son Adam was kidnapped back in the 80s, I think. Anyway, he said, I think Jared has the perfect T-shirt on Captain American. Captain America, Walsh said, because he is one of the bravest victims I have ever met. Later, Jared didn't mention Walsh's praise, but he did tell the story of someone else calling him a hero, his son. And he is a hero, because if he wouldn't have started speaking up about this case and stuff and everything and about what happened to him, you know, and if he would have met Joy, okay, because I think Joy started talking about that case, no telling, this man probably would have got off. You know what I'm saying? They would have never went and searched anything. You know what I'm saying? So it's sometimes, you know, when bloggers cover cases, if they're not playing and running plays and things like that, it could be a really good thing, especially if they're looking at the right things and checking with real sources. Now, I'm going to tell you what this weirdo said that he did. Okay, let me go down here and see. Hold on, I don't want to read the same stuff over again. So I'm glad he got 20 years. He's going to be in jail forever, and I'm glad he is. They're going to make sure of that. This freakazoid had 150 images of child porn. Okay. I mean, he killed that little boy immediately. And I wonder why he did. I think he said that a police. Hold on for a minute, 1 second, y'all. Hold on. I actually think he said a police officer was in the area. Something happened. That's the reason why he killed the little boy. I can't remember. I'm gonna see if it's here because I was actually watching a video regarding this, and they said that. Okay. Anyway, let's see exactly what he said. Well, we already know that Jacob was riding his bike home because they went to a convenience store. His brother and a friend, his best friend, and his younger brother and him. That's what I'm talking about. Sometimes it don't even matter if 3 or 4 people are with you. I'm pretty sure when his parents let him and his brother go to the convenience store, the parents probably feel kind of safe because it was 3 of them together, you know. So anyway, I'm going to tell you what this pervert said. The Star Tribune reported that Heinrich told the packed courtroom Tuesday that he was driving on a dead-end road in St. Joseph when he spotted the boys on their bikes with a flashlight. So it was obviously getting to be night. He stopped them and told the other 2 boys to run home and not look back. Heinrich forced Jacob into the passenger seat of his car, handcuffed him, and Jacob asked him, "What did I do wrong?" Because Jacob probably thought he was an undercover police officer. Heinrich made Jacob duck down into the seat as he listened to a police scanner, which after the other boys ran the half a mile back to the Wetterling home, crackled with news of the kidnapping. He drove Jacob to the gravel pit where he walked him to a stand of trees. Okay, so I'm guessing since he had a police scanner, he heard that they called, the police was looking for him. Maybe that's the reason why he actually did it. But let's see if he tell us. It was there, Heinrich said, that he removed the handcuffs and Jacob's clothes and then molested him. When the boy complained of being cold, he told him to get dressed. That's a sad. I mean, why couldn't he just let the little damn boy go? Damn. Jacob asked to go home, but Heinrich told him he couldn't take him all the way home, at which point the boy began to cry. That's sad. 11 years old, y'all. Huh. Heinrich told the court he panicked and pulled out a revolver. I knew it was something, a reason why he said he killed the little boy. He said he told Jacob to turn away from him because he had to use the bathroom. Then he said he raised the gun to his head. I turned my head and it clicked once. I pulled the trigger again and it went off. Looked back, he was still standing, Heinrich said, according to the newspaper. Then he said he raised the gun and shot him again. Then Heinrich left, but returned later to bury Jacob's body. He told the court that he moved the body a year later after he returned to the burial site. Hold on for a minute, y'all. Heinrich left, okay, but he returned later to bury Jacob's body. So after he shot that little boy, so the first time he must have missed, okay? So he shot him again. And then he left, okay? But then he returned later to bury the little boy's body. He told the court that he moved the body a year later after he returned to the burial site and could see the boy's jacket had begun to show through the soil. That is crazy, y'all, man. I'm telling you, these fucking criminals that do this type of stuff, I honestly feel like they don't need to be just incarcerated for 20 years or whatever the case is. I honestly feel like they should be put to death. Let them serve a little while in prison. They need to be kept in hold. Okay, that's why these key people do this. They need to be kept and put in the hold where they don't receive no damn visitors. They can work out inside of that little area they're in, get their ass, they food, and that's it. For real. Let them sit in that damn hole for about 10 years on death row and then put their ass to death. Because what he did to this little boy, and he's telling the whole thing that he did, is absolutely horrible. This little boy wanted to go home. He killed this little boy because the little boy started crying. All he had to do was tell the little boy stop crying and just tell him to turn around and run. And scared him. That's all he had to do. The little boy probably couldn't even recognize him. You know what I'm saying? Damn. And then he had the nerve to leave the boy there dead, right? Then he went back and buried the little boy. That's crazy. And then went back a year later because obviously he was visiting the place, the grave, and saw the little boy's jacket. And then, damn, police, come on now. It seemed like I would have been scanning and checking the entire area because I think this was like 30 miles from the home. It wasn't even that far. So anyway, this fucking pervert, excuse my language, also detailed his molestation of another boy, which is the 12-year-old Jared, okay, in Cold Spring, Minnesota, 9 months before he kidnapped and murdered Jacob. Investigators long believed the two cases might be connected because of the description of the suspect in each case. And Heinrich was tied by circumstantial evidence to the Cold Spring attack as early as February 1990. But of course, they could not keep him or whatever the case is. Um, you know. Anyway, like I told you before, he was physically linked to that case last year in 2016 when DNA found on a sweatshirt that Jared was wearing during the attack was matched to Heinrich's DNA profile. Okay. Now, anyway, Heinrich was also considered a suspect in 1991 when several paperboys in the Painesville area reported being followed by a tan car while on their routes. Though Heinrich at the time drove a similar car, no charges were ever brought in those cases. And that's another thing too. When these police get leads and stuff, I think they really need to be searching these people like for real, because a lot of times these leads be the actual people who partake in these damn crimes. That is crazy. If it wasn't for Jared, okay, and Joy. This dude might have been still out here basically kidnapping and molesting kids. They said that he did this to other little boys as well. I don't know how many, and I guess maybe he stopped or whatever the case is, but maybe the statutes of limitations ran out for them too, because all of these probably happened around the 80s. You know, it is 2000 what? So all of the statutes ran out, but they did get him on that pornography, and he has so much 100. What did I say? 50? I can't remember how many. 105, 150 child porn. So he got charged with all of that and got charged, sentenced to like 20 years in prison. And since they said they did something else so that he can never be allowed out of prison, and that's a good thing because he does not deserve to be free. He really don't. Anyway, let me tell you about Joy real quick. Hold on for 1 second. I got to let the article come. Anyway, she said in an article that let me see if I can view it on a simplified page real quick. If they can put that back up here real quick. Let me see. Damn. I'm going to go back and come back because I want them to bring that article up in a simpler version. Hold on. Let me do this real quick again, guys. Hold on. Let me see if that'll come back down. Damn, they be knowing that you come to these sites. Anyway, it's in 2010, she said, I began researching the Jacob Wetterling kidnapping, which took place in Minnesota in a town not far from where she lived. It's a case that shook our state to the core, and like so many others, she said, I craved answers and resolutions for the Wetterling family. For 6 years, this lady researched and wrote about Jacob's case. So not only was she a good researcher, she was definitely dedicated, okay? She started this in 2010, okay, and did it for 6 years. She researched and wrote about Jacob's case, interviewing key witnesses and reporting on archive news stories in the hopes that someone might come forward with a piece of the puzzle that could solve the case. That person, y'all, was Jared. Okay. Jared was a 12-year-old boy living in Cold Springs, Minnesota, just 10 miles from St. Joseph, when he was kidnapped and sexually assaulted just 9 months before Jacob's kidnapping. After discovering an archived newspaper article about a string of unsolved attacks on young boys in nearby Painesville, Jared and Joy worked to find and interview those victims, referring them to the local law enforcement so they could make official statements. So on October the 29th, 2015, longtime suspect Danny Heinrich was arrested at his home in Annandale, Minnesota, because the statutes of limitations on Jared's case had expired. He was just charged with possession of child pornography after a search of his home yielded 19 binders full of explicit photos of young children, probably some he was molesting. So I already told you about him striking a plea deal and all that stuff, and then they found the little boy's remains in 2016. But what I'm saying is that this lady, Joy Baker, together with Jared, were the primary reason why Jacob's kidnapper, murderer, got caught and now is in prison. And no, he's not serving time for those actual two cases, but he is serving time, and I'm pretty sure he's going to be in there forever. Just like the judge said. I forgot what he said, what special circumstances they can keep him incarcerated for life. But justice, in my opinion, it will still serve. You know what I'm saying? I'm glad he had the pornographic stuff in his child pornography in his home, because just think if he didn't have that in there, they probably couldn't even arrest him because of the statute of limitation. And that's another thing too. I don't know if they already changed that or not. Somebody need to look that up to see. I may look it up if I can remember. But they need to never let that statute of limitation expire when kids have been sexually assaulted by other kids or grown-ups. It should always stay there. So in case, it takes 20 or 30 years, you know what I'm saying? That person can still be held accountable. This is why so many people do so much, because sometimes just law just does not basically do their job like they should. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, I'm so glad, like I said, that they did um, finally, you know, find out exactly what happened and get this dude. It's a damn shame. And my prayers and stuff are still expressed out to all of the victims. You know what I'm saying? All of the victims, family members and friends and everything, especially Jacob's, because this little boy was talking to this damn weird ass man and was asking to go home and crying. And he did not have to shoot that little boy. He missed the first time. And then he shot him again, probably up in the head. That's crazy. 11 years old, y'all. Jacob would have been how old now? In his 40s? Because if he was 11 then, so 11, yeah, I think he would have been like 40 or somewhere around that age. The same age as the other little boy. Maybe Jacob would have been 39. Or let's say 30, because the other little boy is like the grown man now is 40. I mean, just took this boy's life, this innocent kid's life, and made Jacob rest in peace as well. This dude right here sexually assaulted so many boys in the late 1980s. And what I'm trying to figure out, I wonder what he was doing all those years, 20 some years. I wonder, did he do anything else since then? You know what I'm saying? Before he got caught. Joy also said that the person who kidnapped and sexually assaulted Jared and the other boys in the late 1980s was the same person who snatched Jacob. Law enforcement repeatedly told them they were wrong. Joy said, yes, it's true and it's disheartening. Their theory ultimately led to a cold case review of the Wetterling's kidnapping and Danny Hyrich. But this is the story of how a blogger and a survivor never gave up. This was scary, Baker said. This was a traumatic, horrifying situation. And that's exactly what she said. It's crazy, y'all. So let's see what she said on here. So when she met Jared, okay, he agreed to work with her on one condition. He said this man had threatened his life directly, and he did not want his name associated with this. He said, I have children, and they are my number one priority. Their safety is my number one priority. This guy could still be out there, which he was. And this is Joy Baker right here, and this is Jared right here in this interview. That's Joy, the blogger. So I don't know if she's still on YouTube blogging now or whatever the case is, but that is her right there who helped solve that case along with him, you know. And you know what she also said in 2013, she found a 1987 article in the archives of the Painesville Press that proved a turning point. That's when she called Jared right away. The article detailed a series of unsolved sexual assaults on young boys in the area. This guy is telling people, don't look back or I'll blow your head off. That's what Joy said. 25 years later, I was learning this from Joy, Jared said. Joy reached out to Stearns County Sheriff's investigators. They asked me to send them the article. She said they weren't aware. They was not even looking at the case anymore. But the Stearns County Sheriff's Department also wasn't buying Joy and Jared's theory that the Painesville case, Jared's case, and Jacob's case were connected. Starting in 2004, the Minnesota Bureau of Criminal Apprehension and Stearns County Sheriff had a new theory that Jacob's kidnapper was on foot, not in a car, and they was wrong. They had told me, we don't believe yours and Jacob's cases are connected, Jared said. In a recent statement, the BCA denied ever having focused solely on the theory that Jacob's kidnapper was on foot. It got frustrating so many times, Joyce replied. From the fall of 2013, Joy and Jared spent hundreds of hours tracking down leads and finding the Painesville victims. I knew instantly these guys are associated and that this is the right direction, Jared said. So in 2013 and in 2014, how many times did Jared and Joy contact Stearns County authorities? I say sometimes 3 times a week, Jared said. Sometimes 3 times a day, Joy added. Through 2013 and early 2014, Joy blogged the details of their findings. And in May of 2014, after months of requests, Joy and Jared agreed to an interview on WCCO TV. She said, "You were the first person to step up and say this is a big deal." That's what she told the people who was interviewing her. Our 2014 stories with Joy and Jared also featured an interview with Patty Wetterling. Who you interviewed Patty, who said this could be the guy. We never heard of the Painesville cases, and that was so meaningful, Joy said. In September of 2014, Jared and Joy were featured on John Walsh CNN show The Hunt. The FBI says it was the Walsh special that led them to request a first ever cold case review of the entire Wetterling case in November 2014. But remember this, it was initiated by Jared and Joy. It was that review that led to a new investigation of the man who we now know is Danny Heinrich. Back in early 1990, Heinrich was a suspect not only in Jacobs and Jared cases, but the Painesville cases too. We had pretty much been told Painesville stuff, old news, not looking into that anymore. That's what they were saying, y'all. And that's what Joyce said that they was basically saying to themselves. To find out that was important and relevant, it just really made me feel good. Both Joy and Jared say they share the frustration that the Painesville cases were not thoroughly investigated back then or now. And I told you they didn't, because you would have thought that they would have, searched a lot of places. Because, like I said, if I'm not mistaken, I think they said his body, the guy took him somewhere that was like basically 30 miles from where the little boy lived. Okay? Anyway, she said there was no justice in their sense. They were not recognized. They were not deemed credible, Jared said. That's why last Friday, Jared chose to be part of a tribute before the Painesville High football game that honored not just Jacob and Jared, but the Painesville victims whose forgotten stories helped bring Jacob home. And if she would have never been looking into all of that, Joy, I'm telling you, they would have never found out that this dude was doing all of this, because she, started investigating that case back in 2010. Then she started interviewing, she started researching first, to find out all the victims and stuff. And she started interviewing these people, I guess on her channel or her blog or whatever she was doing. Anyway, the Stearns County Sheriff Department declined to comment. Both Joy and Jared say they do not blame law enforcement. Joy Baker's advice to others who find themselves fighting for something was when everyone says you are wrong. She says, trust your gut. Okay? And Jared says, find a blogger to tell your story. So the thing about it is, like I said, when you have for real bloggers who cover these cases and not trying to scam or run plays, they can really help solve some of these crimes for real, because they can bring attention to the case. And if they find some really good evidence and send it to the detectives and things like that, along with people who may have been a victim, you never know. Cases could be looked back into, and more people could be found, maybe, or you can find out who did whatever they did to them and bring justice to them. So again, my prayers are extended out to Jacob's family and friends, and to Jared's as well. My prayers are extended out to his and other victims who were victimized by this disgusting piece of crap man. Okay, he's not even a man. All right, and I'm so happy he got 20 years, probably life in prison. He need his ass beat. Okay, somebody needs to do him like he did that little boy, and that's on everything. You know what I'm saying? They probably got him in protective custody, because I'm pretty sure some of the inmates want to get a hand to him. He's been incarcerated now since 2016, 17, 18, 19, 20, 1, 2, 3. So that's like 7 years, right? Yeah, 7 years and stuff. So hopefully you know, hopefully somebody taught him a lesson in there. I don't know if they did because it's probably a protective custody. And some of these people, they need to stop putting them in that too, okay? If you can be out here molesting kids, you don't need to be in no damn protective custody. Whatever happens, let it happen. You know what I'm saying? For real, for real. When they start doing things like this, I'm telling you, these people will stop, assaulting these little kids, molesting these little kids, and, sexually assaulting them and things like that and kidnapping them. You got to be a little bit tougher on these damn criminals that do things like this. You know what? The justice system is so backwards. They would be more tougher on a person who just steals some shit versus a person who is molesting and sexually assaulting a child. He shouldn't even be. He should have just got automatically life. But I guess they couldn't do it because they just had child pornography. But they need to change that law too. If you got child pornography in your home, you need to be in prison for life. Okay? Because why do you have little kids? Pictures naked and things like that. That's weird. Okay, so if you got these pictures, you're probably trying to go out here and kidnap and sexually assault these kids. So therefore, they need to be locked the fuck up when they find out. And that's just on everything. You know what I'm saying? That's just plainly ridiculous. Once again, may Jacob continue to rest in peace. Like I said, it's a sad situation. When I read the story, first I heard the story and then I read it and I was like, wow, this is so sad. And then when I read this dude telling what he did, it's really damn heartbreaking. It really is. Damn, just imagine what the little boy was going through. And then he started crying. And, honestly, I would have let the little boy go. Because the little boy probably couldn't even remember what he looked like. It was dark. Damn, that is crazy. So, yeah, y'all, I don't know. If you guys are watching this in the replay, just tell me what you think about this case. Don't you think that the police should have did a better, more efficient job when all of this happened back in the 80s? So this pervert could have got caught sooner. And they're always talking about something don't connect when it really does. Okay? I mean, come on now. And then all the other victims that he molested and sexually assaulted. And then for 20 some years, what was this dude doing? I bet you he was doing other things. Let me check that and make sure he didn't do anything else. Because he's very strange. He was out loose for 20 some years until he was found. Right? Yeah, because he got arrested in what year? They was questioning him in 1990, right? And then I think they came back and arrested him in 2015 or 14, somewhere around that time. Maybe 2016, somewhere around that time. So what was this dude's name? I forgot the pervert's name already because he's such a disgust. Man, his name was Danny, right? Danny Hein, some shit. So let's see. Let's get an update on this pervert. Okay. He's 60 years old now. Let's see. He won't be eligible. There is no parole in the federal system, thank God. After he finishes serving his criminal sentence, he is expected to be civilly committed as a sex offender because of what he did, because it was so heinous and so brutal and awful that it's unlikely that society will let him go free. So that's good that they did this like this, because this pervert would not get out of prison. And just say if he did get out of prison, and one of those relatives of that little boy is still alive, they should do what they need to do, because he does not deserve to be out. I'm just telling you that straight up. What he did to that little boy is just not good, y'all. And that's on everything. Let's see what else they say here. So he was sentenced at 53. He was sentenced for 20 years. So he'll be 20, 53, 63, 73 when he get his old ass out. Okay, when he go up for I guess whatever they go up for, a hearing or whatever the case is. I want to see if has anything happened to him in damn prison. They don't say anything. Let's see. Okay, here's some updated news. Hold on for a minute. I'm gonna get these kids. Hold on for a second. These big ass kids, y'all, grown as ever, and being here doing the most. I'm gonna put their ass out. Except that I need to put him out too. Okay, when he get 18, he gonna get put out right to that service because his ass be doing the most. Okay, but anyway, so in jail. Okay, let's see. Hold on, let me see what he did in jail. Let's see. This fucking dude. Look at his little perverted ass. I'll give y'all a good look at his ass. Look at him. He's not. He don't got no remorse. You can look in his eyes. This is an evil piece of shit. All right, and that's on everything. I hope. I wish I was a big YouTuber because I'll leave him a message and tell him he is an evil piece of shit and he need to stay in prison forever. And I hope they beat the fuck out of him. And that's on everything. And put something in his mouth. Do everything that he did to that little boy. Somebody need to do to his old ass. Okay, they need to wait till you get about 70 though, a little bit older, so you can really feel some damn pain. Shit. But anyway, from the Scheierl County Jail after he confessed to killing Jacob Wetterling. Danny Heinrich told his brother he hasn't touched anybody since the 1989 kidnapping. I don't know if I believe that because he had pornographic stuff in there of kids. Anyway, transcripts of several phone calls between Danny and David Heinrich are among the 41,787 pages of documents from the Wetterling's investigative file Stearns County released last week. During one phone call on October the 23rd, 2016, less than 2 months after his confession, Heinrich told his brother that ever since he confessed to the 1989 kidnapping and killing of Wetterling, he said, I am being treated by some people totally different than I used to be, and that many people were angry that he was charged with child pornography, with child pornography, not murder. Yeah, I'm angry too, because your ass should have been charged with murder too, and sexually assaulting that little boy, as well as messing with the other little boy and any other kid that he messed with. But anyway, he said, but that's the deal I made, Heinrich said. I didn't have to confess to this because they didn't have shit on me as far as Wetterling goes until I confessed. So they never would have known who if I wouldn't have not said anything. He a piece of shit. He would sound like a piece of shit in this interview. Okay? Anyway, Danny said he was a monster back then, but I stopped. You still a monster, fool. You are still a monster, and that's on everything. He said, I haven't had no sexual contact with anybody. Dated since that night, he said, with nobody. When he got home that night, Heinrich said he cried and said, my God, what have I done? I don't know what went wrong. Everything went wrong. He said, this dude, listen, I'm going to stop right here because he's really pissing me off, because the thing is like this. What you mean you went home and said, my God? You wasn't talking to God when you kidnapped this little boy and you did all this other stuff to this child. And then you turn your stinking ass around, right? He turned his stinking ass around, right? And made that little boy turn around because he said that he had to pee or something. Danny said he had to pee. Then he took out his, you know what, and put it up to that little boy's head, but I think he missed. Then he did it a damn again. So God was not talking to him. And if God was talking to him, he was not listening none of that time. Because if he would have been listening, first of all, he would have never kidnapped the little boy and definitely not sexually assaulted him. Okay, but just say if he was listening to the devil at that time, he did all that. But if he would have stopped and listened afterwards, he would never kill that little boy. He just would have told that little boy to turn around, don't turn back around. And this dude could have got in his car and left. And he could have scared the little boy and told him, don't tell nobody. Don't say shit. Don't say nothing. You can say you got molested, but don't say who did it. He could have just scared us like he did the other little boy. He didn't have to kill that little boy. Then he want to get up here on the phone and say all this bullshit. No remorse whatsoever. It doesn't sound like he had anything. Also, he talked about police blaming him for a series of sexual assaults in Painesville in the late 1980s. Heinrich said he was involved in a couple, but not all of them, because I know what I did and what I didn't do. Okay, I'm telling you, this dude don't got no remorse, okay? Heinrich has been linked by law enforcement, but not charged for the 8 assaults between 1986 and 88. He did confess, as we know, to the other 2, okay? So during another phone call on November the 9th, 2016, Heinrich said when he's released, he can never come back to Minnesota because he could be civilly committed as a sex offender. That's why I'm gonna fight like hell not to come back to Minnesota because this state hates me, he told his brother. First of all, he's scheduled to be released, I'm sorry, in 2033. Like I said, when his ass is 70. They're not gonna let this pervert out. And if they do, they need to lose their jobs because he or whatever positions they have or whatever the case is. Because this pervert he's not really sorry. You can tell from what he wrote here. Instead of him saying all this stuff, he should have been saying, I'm so sorry for doing that to little boys. I deserve to be in prison because of what I did. It was an awful act. I shouldn't even did that to the other little boy. He should have been saying stuff like that other than talking all tough and shit and acting like, you know, people shouldn't be feeling the way that they feel about him. The whole state would definitely hate him because of what he did. And he know good and damn well he molested all them other little kids as well. One thing I know about liars, they will lie to the end and make you believe them when they know good and damn well they are not telling you the truth. Very manipulative. Let's see what else they got here. Okay, we got that right there. So he gonna fight like hell not to go back to Minnesota. Yeah, they need to not let him go. If he happens to get released, they need to make him go back to Minnesota. Okay, so some of these people in Minnesota take care of his ass. And it doesn't matter where he may go because there's some people out there that don't like him. So if they find out exactly where he goes, if he get released, his old ass is gonna get it. And I know that on everything. That's crazy. If he makes it to be that age, that's the first thing. And if they don't do something to him in prison. But the thing about it, he's probably in police custody or whatever the crap they do. And then they wonder, how did he get away with this all this time? So anyway, we already know how he got away with it, okay? Because they wasn't really trying to look for this killer and this um, child kidnapper, and you know what? They wasn't looking for this pervert, like until that girl in Jared started investigating this case and stuff. That is crazy. So anyway, as we already know, this weirdo is still in prison. Okay. Okay. So we do know that Jared is basically married with 3 kids, and I guess he's doing well. You know what I'm saying? Because he's getting through all this stuff mentally and things like that. So that's a good thing. And like I told you guys before, him and Joy and the Wetterling family are all close friends now. Okay, and I'm pretty sure they're working toward stopping other kids from being, kidnapped and things like that. That is crazy. So hold on, let me see what they're saying about this weird ass dude. So let's see. So this is this dude when he was younger, I guess, when he was doing all this stuff. That's a damn shame, y'all. So this right here tells you this exact story. Jared, right, the one that he kidnapped first. This tells you the exact story of it. Let me just go over this real quick with you guys before I stop talking about this. The 12-year-old Jared was walking back home from a cafe in Cold Springs, Minnesota on January 13th when Danny drove up alongside him in a car and asked for directions to a location. Once the boy appeared distracted, Danny jumped out of the driver's seat. Then he grabbed Jared's neck and forced him into the car. And inside, Danny threatened to shoot the 12-year-old before driving to an abandoned location and sexually abusing him. And then soon after, Danny decided to let the boy go. And after dragging him out of the car, asked him to run without looking back. So he dragged that little boy out the car and everything. He just was just that's why they got him on sexual battery as well. That's why Jared is did a civil lawsuit for sexual battery as well. So you already know the story, what he did to Jacob. They pretty much go over the same thing, just what he told police and stuff. See, I remember I told you guys that, see, one article said that because the little boy started crying, he shot the little boy, right? That's what the interview um, revealed. I think the interview he had in the courtroom or something, like I can't remember. But in this article right here, it says that, like Jared, Jacob was taken to an abandoned place where Danny abused him in the most brutal way possible. That's sad. Yet, even though he planned on letting the 11-year-old walk free, Danny claimed he was spooked by a passing police siren, which made him shoot Jacob twice in the head. So he actually hit him twice, but when he hit him the first time, the little boy was still standing. That's sad. That is real sad. So anyway, they said once the kidnapping was reported to the police, they studied the scene where the boys were kidnapped and noticed two kinds of tire marks on the road. And they even found a shoe print at the crime scene. And that investigation led them to Danny as detectives realized that the tires on his cars matched one of the patterns. On top of it, the shoe print matched the suspect's shoe, and the police tailed him for several days before questioning him about the incident. But Danny insisted on his innocence, and since no evidence could prove his involvement, beyond any doubt, the police were forced to let him go. So they had this weirdo, and they let him go. That is crazy. And that dude stayed, like I said, free until 2015, 2016, when Joy and Jared got together, because Joy was already investigating this case since 2010. And then when she started researching, like I said before, when she started researching witnesses and stuff, other people, not witnesses too, but other victims, that's when Jared, I guess, saw her blog, her channel, whatever the case is, or her whatever, and then he contacted her, and they got together after she promised not to reveal his name and stuff like that, because after all the years, he still was scared if that man, if he told people his name and the man found out his name, and then this guy is talking to this blogger, he still was fearful that this old ass dude would come out looking for him and maybe try to take his boys or try to kill him and his family. That's a damn shame, man. Mm-mm-mm. But anyway, like I said, I'm glad this dude is in prison. I'm really let's see. So he still is currently spending his days behind bars at the FMC Devens in Fort Devens, Massachusetts. And then, like I said, he can be released in 2032, they say here. The other one said 2033. Okay. And he was linked to 8 incidents of sexual abuse between 1986 and 1988, but he was never charged for any of those. Okay. Which is a damn shame. All right. That's sad, y'all. All right. But anyway, y'all, that's it for that discussion. I'm going to go over like maybe 3 news articles, and that's going to be it for the night. We've been on here for 1 minute. I mean, not 1 minute, but 1 hour and 19 minutes. Okay. So we'll be on here for about another 11 minutes, and I'll let you guys go. Let me go ahead and give you some breaking news real quick, and that will be it for tonight. And I'm glad you guys came out to listen to this, because I think this is a very important case, especially if you guys are parents or have grandkids or whatever, cousins, little cousins or whatever, parents got to be a little bit more alert. Definitely don't be letting your kids be outside at night. In this time of day, I don't know what to tell you. Teach your kids first self-defense, okay? That's what I can say. Just don't talk to no strangers at all, and watch their surroundings, and, just try to be with your kids as much as possible. That's all I can say about that, because you got a lot of perverts that's doing the same thing that this dude did. Some do even more. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, you got to definitely watch your little kids. I just told you about the little girl who was at home. Her dad was at work. She heard somebody at the door. She told her dad, and her dad, should have called, his relatives who live in the same apartment complex and made them go over there and check on the little girl. And he should have called the police at the same time, And then the dude who broke in, with his key, I think he had the key. He, sexually assaulted that little girl and then killed her and then stuffed her body in the hamper. And she was like 12 years old, I believe, or somewhere around that age. Like I said, these type of people who do these type of crimes, they don't need to be just sentenced. Yes, they do. Let them stay there for about 10 years, in the hold, like I said before, and then put their ass on death row. You know what I'm saying? Get their ass to death penalty. You know what I'm saying? That's what I meant to say, death penalty, and put their ass to death. And that's just on everything because they don't deserve anything. They really don't. Taking innocence from little kids, especially these damn men raping little boys and shit. Who does this? You know? And that's got to be very traumatizing. It's traumatizing when a grown man is, like that in prison, that's not bi or anything else. Imagine a little kid. Come on now. That's crazy. Now let's go ahead and go to breaking news, y'all. So here we go. Y'all, let me tell you about this awful little story right here. A Florida mother just lost basically almost her entire family. And, this is why I don't believe in 15-year-olds driving and stuff like that, because honestly, I don't feel like they're mature enough. You know what I'm saying? I just don't. I don't even know why they let 15-year-olds drive. I just don't. Anyway, a Florida mother spoke on the phone to her 3 children what turned out to be the very last time, just minutes before police said a 15-year-old driver blew through a stop sign and smashed into the car the young kids were in. This crash, a fiery crash in Poinciana Sunday evening, wiped out most of Sabrina Hernandez's immediate family, including all her children, 11-year-old Miley Cruz, 9-year-old Marvin Cruz, and 1-year-old Anara Hernandez, and her mother, 50-year-old Trinidad Hernandez. That's crazy. The mom said, "I am dying inside. I don't get to see my children anymore. I don't get to see my mom anymore." This is what Sabrina told the station, Fox 35, during a candlelight vigil held Monday at the scene of the horrific collision at the intersection of San Miguel Street and Laurel Avenue. The woman's 52-year-old father, retired federal corrections officer Angel Hernandez, who was a passenger in the car, was hospitalized with serious injuries. She said, "I lost my entire family right here in this spot. I would never wake up and see my children again." So this is the picture of her 3 children right here. Cute kids, a little baby. These 3 were killed in that fiery crash. That's a daggone shame, y'all. And then her mom also was killed. She was 50 years old. Um, the grieving mom opened up about the last time she spoke to her kids as they headed home in their grandma's car. "My son called me and said, 'Mommy, we are 15 minutes away.'" That's crazy. That's what Sabrina recalled through her tears. "I said, 'Okay, I will see you in a bit. I love you.' And he said, 'I love you too.'" When her children and parents failed to come home, the mom said she grew worried. "I started calling my son, my mom, and my dad, and nobody was answering. And I started getting this gut feeling like something was wrong." So this is Sabrina, who lost her entire family except her dad. This is her car that was, you know, involved in the accident. Anyway, like I just said, police said a 15-year-old driver ran through a stop sign and smashed into the side of her mom's car. And then I guess the car propelled into a light pole. Here's some more pictures of her little family. cute kids. Okay, so anyway, I guess when she got word, she raced to the area hospital where she learned that her family was gone. She said they were supposed to bury me, and now I have to bury all of them at once. And she said all of this while she was crying. Anyway, the gut wrenching crash was caused by a 15-year-old driver operating a 2012 Chevrolet Impala with three other 15-year-old boys in the car, according to the Florida Highway Patrol. The teen motorist was speeding north along Lauren Avenue around 6:55 p.m. when he failed to stop at the intersection with San Miguel Street, according to troopers. The front of the Impala smashed into the left side of Trinidad um, 2022 Honda HRV, which was propelled onto a grass shoulder, where it wrapped itself around a light pole. The grandmother and her grandson Marvin died on the spot. Damn. The two other children in the car died later at the hospital. Her husband underwent a successful surgery for his unspecified injuries, but has not yet been told about the death of his loved ones. According to a GoFundMe page created by Angel's brother, Sergeant Herberto Hernandez, a 20-year veteran of the New York City Police Department. The 15-year-old driver was hospitalized with serious injuries. His three passengers were only slightly hurt. Okay. And asked by Fox 35 if she had a message for the teen driver, Sabrina said, I forgive you. That's because I am a Christian and I believe in Jesus. But at the same time, she said she would not stop until she gets justice for her family. Her husband, Mickey Hernandez Morcillo, mourned the loss of their children on Facebook, writing in a Tuesday post, to know that I can't touch you guys, hear your voices, or even lay my eyes on you guys breaks me. This is a damn sad story, y'all. This is crazy. This is a kid's again. This little boy should have never been fucking driving. I blame his parents too. He should have never been driving. This is the memorial, well, the vigil area, the memorial, I guess, where the crash happened. This is her mom and her husband. Her mom got killed as well. So he doesn't even know that his wife and grandkids are dead because he's in the hospital. And this is the grandma with the two other kids right here. You know, y'all, my prayers are really expressed out to the mom and the rest of the family members, you know, and my condolences are expressed out to them as well. And may all of these victims rest in peace. And that little 15-year-old boy need his ass whooped, and so does the parents, because I'm telling you, 15 years old is too damn young to be letting these kids drive. They're not mature enough, okay? Hey, Ryan, thank you for coming in. They're not mature enough, all right? I would never let my son be out here driving at 15 years old. Now, I'm gonna let him take driver's lessons next year so he can learn how to drive, but he's not going to just be out there driving all around like he's grown, okay? Damn, and running and disobeying traffic laws and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? They don't know. One innocent, well, they didn't even know innocent mistake, but one mistake can just mess up a whole family's life forever. And wish this little boy did that. And I'm wondering if he will have any charges, you know? This lady in this comment section said, her name is Ophelia. She said, need to prosecute those responsible to the full extent of the law to discourage other young kids from doing the same thing. They think they are untouchable due to age. Somebody else said this kid needs to be put in jail for 10 years. He was negligent and killed 4 people and severely injured a 5th. Accident or not, he deserves jail. Let's see. Okay, Janelle thinks the same way that I think. Why was this 15-year-old driving? His reckless actions took her family heartbreaking. Another person also said the same thing. I agree with you. A 15-year-old wouldn't have their driver's license either. I wonder if his or her parents knew they took the car. Horrific. Somebody else said they should be with a guardian until they are 16. Hope this shows him that life goes by very fast. It is precious. Let me see what's going on my finger. I got an allergic reaction on my thumb. Hold on, y'all. From something I touched today. I don't know what. I told you I'd be allergic to every damn thing. I don't know what I touched on this hand that made me get an allergic reaction right on my thumb. That's crazy, y'all. Goodness. Anyway, Deborah said, I'm pretty sure he didn't have a driver's license. Parents need to be held accountable if he were using their car, unless it was stolen. I'm praying for her and healing for her father. I agree with that. Um, let's see what else somebody wrote. Jan says this 15-year-old needs to be tried as an adult for four murders. He shouldn't have been driving anyways. Prayers to the mother and the rest of the family. Christine says, I keep looking at the picture of the kids. My heart breaks for this mom. I know, girl. That is true. Okay, Tamira says, I pray that all the boys in the Impala are charged to the fullest extent of the law so this family receives justice. My heart, thoughts, prayers are with this family. I don't know about the other three, if all of them should be charged. That driver definitely should be charged. But then again, all of them may need to be charged because they probably help encourage the boy to drive faster. And that's why he didn't see the stop sign and stuff like that, you know? But anyway, if I do, oh, somebody said in the state of Florida, you can get a driving permit. Your parents have to sign the forms. But with that permit, you cannot operate a motor vehicle unless someone in the vehicle has a valid driver's license and is 21 years of age. And he said the kid who caused all of this should be punished to the fullest of the court system. I guess that's what he mean to say. Yeah, I agree. The little child does need to be punished. You know what I'm saying? At 15, I don't know how long he should be punished for in prison because he is young, 15 years old. I think his parents should be held accountable too. Because 15 years old, you need to keep a watch on your kids. Okay, why are you even outside at 15 years old? You know what I'm saying? I wish this boy here would be outside right now. Okay, he's 15. You know I don't be playing all that. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I say the parents need to be charged too, because you need to watch your kids and be as a parent should be. All right, point blank. Check your kids' rooms and things like that. If they're gone, you go look for them. And the car, check. Because whose car was he driving? At 15. And where the hell were they going with his little boy, his friends in the car with him? Where? At 15 years old. And the other ones were 15 too. And that make no damn sense. So anyway, again, my condolences and prayers are expressed out to this family, especially to the mom and um, her husband as well, I guess, or dad, or their dad, or whatever the case is. And my prayers are extended out to her father as well. I hope he pulled through, and he probably still don't know about his wife and his grandkids, but hopefully he'll be okay. The whole family will be okay and stuff. And may these little kids and the mom rest in peace. Sad situation, y'all. I hate when I read sad things like this. You know what I'm saying? But I do have to, let you guys know about the news. So anyway, y'all, let me give you something else happier, some happier news. Jamie Foxx was out holding hands with his girlfriend during his I think that's how you pronounce that, vacation months after his health scare. Now, I'm not going to read this article because I don't really think I need to. I'm just going to show you this little picture and stuff. So that's Jamie Foxx, and that's his girlfriend. They holding hands on, while he went on a vacation. That's a good thing. Glad to see that. Let me see if they got any more pictures. So it's always to the back. See him right here. I don't know what Jamie got on though, but whatever floats his boat. You know, whatever floats his boat is cool. Let's see. Do we have any more pictures? So there they go right there. I thought he was dating Katie Holmes. I guess not. Okay, Jamie. All right. And here he is sitting on the beach, y'all, just in case y'all Jamie Foxx fans. All right. That's the girl right here. So yeah, he's not with Katie Holmes anymore. I thought they were still together. Y'all remember that situation with him and Katie Holmes and Tom Cruise? Y'all remember all that? That's a damn trip, isn't it? And wasn't him and Tom Cruise best friends? Okay. And here's another picture. One more picture, y'all. One more picture so y'all can get a good look. So at least he's doing good, out having a little vacation, with his little girlfriend. They doing it through and all this other stuff. So prayers for Jamie Foxx, okay? And I'm glad he's like, doing way better and things like that. I knew somebody was gonna say this. Oh my God, I knew somebody was gonna say that. I was reading these comments. I'm not gonna read the comments, y'all, because getting damn well what they're saying about Jamie. Okay. The thing about it, I'll just tell you what they're saying in case y'all want to know. So a lot of people are commenting why he is always out there with white women. And the thing is like this. I don't really have a problem with interracial dating. The only time I do have a problem with it is when you get a black man or either a black woman tell you the reason why they date other races is because um, black women or black men are not worthy or whatever negative shit they come up with. That's when I have a problem with that because you should not be putting down one race because you decide that you don't want to date in that race anymore or whatever the case is. You shouldn't do that because everybody is not the same. If you want to date outside your race, you should do it because you like this person and because you met this person and y'all connected, not because you fed up, with all black women or black men because you had a bad experience with a couple. You cannot look at your experience with a couple make you generalize all of the women or men. You know what I'm saying? A lot of women do that too. They'll be a couple black dudes, and just because these black dudes cheated on them and was not no good, they will say all black men are no good. All black men cheat, and I know all black men don't cheat. For real, all black men don't cheat. You know what I'm saying? Just like all black women don't be doing certain things. So I just think it's unfair. That's the only time I have a problem with that is when they put down, you know, the other race, because they're trying to validate their reason why they are choosing to date outside. And the thing about it, if you're dating people for a sincere reason because you actually like that person because of their qualities, the way they look, the way they make you feel, how you connect, it's okay. But when you are dating outside your race because you swear all these other people in this other race is doing this and you hate these group of people, there's something is wrong with that. And that's why a lot of times some of those relationships don't last. You know what I'm saying? And that's just on everything. That's the only time I have problems with that. Okay, I just want to let you guys know that. But yeah, a lot of people are talking about that, in the comment section. All right, so let's go over to the next story. And if I do get an update on the lady, the Florida mom who had basically her whole family, especially her kids taken, I'll let you guys know. All right. So the next story is, hold on, let me go ahead and do this real quick. So, okay, so this is a story that I was meaning to tell you guys about yesterday. Okay, when I showed you guys this lunatic in this picture looking crazy as hell. Okay, 15 years old. He looks older than 15, y'all. He looks older, but he is 15, so don't forget that. All right. So, anyway, this 15-year-old Florida boy was smiling while being taken away by cops after allegedly murdering a teen and 6-year-old girl. Now, I want y'all to let that marinate in your mind real quick while I take a little break. I gotta go put these clothes in the wash machine because it's getting late. And then I'm gonna come back and tell you about that. Okay, hold on for 1 second. No, give me 2 minutes, all right? Okay, y'all, I'm back. Y'all should have heard that conversation. We was talking about Drake, Sexy Red, and Country Wayne interview. Okay, what he said. So y'all need to check out Country Wayne. Country Wayne be tripping me out, y'all. Y'all need to check out his video stuff. He's pretty hilarious. Have some good skits. I've been watching Country Wayne since hell when I lived in Atlanta. That's when I started watching him, and that was way back in 2007 and stuff like that when I started watching Country Wayne and stuff. Yep. But anyway, let me finish with this little psycho looking boy. So this 15-year-old Florida boy was caught on camera smiling after he was accused of killing two people during a drive-by shooting. Okay, Nico. Why do these people always have this last name? Nico Brown was arrested in Orlando yesterday after authorities listed him as the suspect of first-degree murder in the deaths of Isaiah Wright, 19, and Little Ajalia Hygium, 6. The child's mom was also injured in the shooting. According to the Post, the 6-year-old and her mother was sitting in the living room watching TV when gunshots rang out from a passing car outside of their home. What did I say this little girl named Alea was taken to a local hospital but died of her injuries 2 days later. And Alea was the 6-year-old, okay? Police announced that Alea nor her mom were the intended targets. She was such a beautiful girl, so quiet, a neighbor who called 911 said of Alea. The 19-year-old who was shot also died after being dropped off at Health Central Hospital emergency room in Oki, where he was pronounced dead by medics. It was not immediately clear how he was connected, police said. I don't know if he was the target, Wright's mother, Stacy Hall, said during a candlelight vigil held Friday night for her son. I don't know if he was set up. There's a lot of things going through my head regarding my son. That was my son, and his family is mourning, Hall said. His dad's side is mourning, and nobody deserves to lose a child. Alea was a student at Eagles Nest Elementary School, according to a statement from Superintendent Maria Vancrez. Our students should not have to live in a world where their lives are in danger in their own neighborhoods. I cannot imagine the pain Alea's family is going through. We cannot accept that these tragedies have become all too common in our community. All right, so that's what the superintendent stated or said. Okay, let's see. So that's all the information we got on this case. But this little boy looks like a damn deranged lunatic sitting up here like this. This look crazy as hell. Look at his hair. What the hell is wrong with his hair, y'all? Come on now. And then he sit up here looking crazy, man. Was he in a gang or something? Because he's looking tripped out. 15 years old. Parents, y'all got to do better. Okay? Somebody said he looks like the devil. Come on, jailhouse justice. Save these families from the grief of court dates and save taxpayers money. Condolences to lost lived ones. I know what she's trying to write, but condolences to lost lived ones. I'm just reading just like she got it, or loved ones. That's what she meant. Okay. Somebody said, I have studied human behavior for 30 years, and his environment doesn't really equate for much. I'm not saying that it can't play a role. However, we as human beings have a choice, and it's still not an excuse. Accountability is a thing. And I agree. I don't know why all the time these people try to make up excuses. Okay, Ryan, they make excuses for every damn thing. Okay, this little lunatic is a little off. Okay, let's just say it like we see it. I mean, he looks like he's a little bit off. Okay, let's keep it real. He's shooting up in the house. Looked like he was doing a drive-by. I don't know why they write articles like that. Anyway, just say it for what it looks like. A damn drive-by. I don't know if the other little boy was intended target and he just shot up the house and other people were innocent. They were innocent and they just was at the wrong place at the wrong time. Damn. But this is why people, if the little boy was involved in anything or whatever the case is, this is why you got to watch who you associate with, because sometimes people do drive-bys, okay? And then you got your family members in the house, you know what I'm saying? And then they get killed. You know what I'm saying? So you got to watch who you associate with. You got to watch what you belong to. You just got to watch everything, because you never know. People will not only search for you, but they will also search for loved ones. And they can also, even if they're not searching for loved ones can be there when you are being victimized yourself, and then they can get hurt. And I agree with this person. Both said all this crime and shit won't die down because our justice system is soft. School shooters, gang members get a slap of the hand, and I agree. Shit. Somebody else said, D said, I bet he ain't smiling now. Trust me, he's about to meet some real crazies. First of all, since he's only 15 years old, he's probably going to be in the kiddie area, detention center or whatever, juvenile detention center, because he's only 15. Just imagine, he was just 14. You know what I'm saying? He was just 13 too, so he's still like a little kid. You know what I'm saying? So I doubt they're going to put him in a grown section or anything like that. But he looks like he's a little bit off. You know what I'm saying? I'm for real. Yeah, he does look like he's a little bit off. Somebody said, I haven't heard no one saying sorry about the 19-year-old who he killed, and the poor 6-year-old baby who got killed, also plus her mom who was shot but survived. You're here talking about why they showing the kid's face. They need to when they are murderers. Yeah, I'm glad I didn't read the articles about why people tell me they shouldn't show him. They should show the kid's face. He look crazy as hell anyway, so we can see what he looks like, just in case his ass get out, so we can know what this little hoodlum, this boy looks like. You know what I'm saying? And why wouldn't, you know what I'm saying? Why wouldn't they show him? And so I agree with what she's saying. They should be not worried about showing this boy's face, because he did commit a crime. His face needs to be shown, because he did take some lives. You know what I'm saying? That 6-year-old baby didn't have shit to do with this. I don't know if the 19-year-old had anything to do with it, but I know for sure the 6-year-old didn't, Somebody else called him a demon. Somebody else called him a piece of what. Somebody else said nothing would happen to him. He's a poor little boy who lost his way. Somebody else said, yeah, not smiling. A confused, damaged-minded thing. Yeah, to me, he looks like something is wrong with him, for real, for real. He really does. He's not smiling. He looks fucking crazy as hell. You know what I'm saying? Maybe a little borderline off a little bit. Plus, he looks like he's bad as hell. You know what I'm saying? Looks like he could be a you-know-what member. And he looks like he be getting into some shit. Let's keep it real. You know what I'm saying? Look at him. You can look at people sometime and tell what shit they about, even little kids. Let's see. Let me see what some more comments say before we move on. Let me see, y'all. Hold on. Let's see. Hold on, y'all. Okay. Hold on 1 second. Somebody said, feel bad for the little girl who was just being a little kid, not bothering or effing with anybody. But you have this wannabe thug, tough guy, who thinks having a gun makes him a man. Well, youngsters, I got news for all of you wannabe tough guy bullshit. It takes more than your chicken shit gun that makes y'all a man. Anybody that shoots up a house or parks or any other place other than the other wannabe tough guy that was hurt your little boy feelings is a motherfucking punk ass bitch. Have a good day, bitches. I'm just reading exactly what this guy wrote. But honestly, Ron is correct, okay? Because damn, why you shoot up the house? If you got a something going on with one person, just target that one person. Because you're hitting innocent people, okay, point blank, And then if he is targeting the other dude, I bet it's some bullshit. You know what I'm saying? You're taking lives over some bullshit. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what's wrong with these people. They need to watch that little video I did on my short today. You know what I'm saying? Talking about people, dying. I actually it was a bee dying, and I used that to make the point that I was making. He need to watch that video because a lot of people just don't give a shit about their lives. You know what I'm saying? Until they get at death door, and then when they get at death door, they talk all this bad shit and stuff. That's one things some people do. I'm not scared to die. I'm ready to die. But as soon as they death door is knocking at their door, they ass be doing the most trying to stay alive, just like that little bee was. Okay, so I don't be really buying into people when they talk about they're not scared to die, they ready to die, they don't give a fuck about dying. Sure, when you're put into a situation and sometimes you are allowed to suffer with diseases and things like that. And I know many times people be saying, God, please heal me. Please stop this disease. I don't want to die right now. I'm only this age. You could be 80 years old. You'll be saying, please, I don't want to die right now. You'd be just like that little bee trying to live, struggling to live. That little bee was struggling to live today, and I wish I could have helped it, but I couldn't. Just they sprayed, and he obviously got in a spray. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, people don't give a shit. You know what I'm saying? They take lives very quickly. They don't give a damn. You can do simple shit to people, and they try to kill you, and they don't care who they may hit. This is why I tell people, stop being in other people's business, because you never know. Sometimes they just don't come after you, they come after other people. And sometimes even when they just come after you, you can be around other people, and then the other people get killed. Okay? And then you looking all crazy afterwards. So think about your action before you do it, all right? And think about, who else you are putting, through stuff. So anyway, my prayers are extended out to the victims' family members, and my sympathy are extended out to them as well. And may all of these victims, rest in peace. And hopefully they will serve justice on this little boy, because he just really need his ass whooped, for real. A lot of people need their ass whooped. He's one of them, and that's on everything. Somebody said bring back the fire, the firing squads. If they did have it, they're not going to shoot him because he's a kid. Somebody said, why do people have kids if they don't want to raise them? And that's what I say. Yeah, why get pregnant? I don't understand that anyway. Why do these people keep getting pregnant if they know good and damn well they don't want no kids? You know what I'm saying? And they can't afford them and things like this. Why do these people keep on having babies? Damn, they got a bunch of things you can use to not get pregnant. And then you get pregnant and have these little kids and shit that you don't raise them correctly, and then they end up joining gangs, just doing the most and shit. And then they always want to blame that there's no dad in the household and things like this. Chicks, that these dudes that you hook up with, some of these dudes are capable of just leaving. So why you keep on getting pregnant by these type of men? So if you're willing to lay down with any damn thing, you should be willing to take care of your child, regardless of whatever situation you may be in, and be the best mom that you can be. You don't have to have him there. Shit. Make sure these little boys and girls stop doing all this crazy shit and grow up to be, good kids and grow up to be good grown-ups versus doing all this type of shit right here, taking innocent lives. All right, so let me go ahead and move on to the next story so we can get out of here, y'all. So I know I just told y'all about, no, this is Kanye. I don't even want to tell y'all about them, okay. Kanye, I mean, okay, let's go ahead. So anyway, y'all boy right here is about to be sentenced, okay. The former Proud Boys leader, Enrique, I guess, Taro, faces sentencing in the January 6th Capitol attack. Y'all know this dude right here. I know y'all know him. Some of y'all probably worship this dude because y'all was glad that he, did what he did. So that's him right here. Okay. I know y'all know who this is. Anyway, former Proud Boy National Chairman Enrique Taro will be sentenced on Tuesday for a plot to attack the U.S. Capitol in a failed bid to stop the transfer of presidential power after Donald Trump lost the 2020 election. Okay. He is the final Proud Boys leader convicted of the seditious, I think I said that right, or seditious, I don't know how you say that, conspiracy in the January 6, 2021 attack to receive his punishment. 3 fellow Proud Boys found guilty by a Washington jury of the rarely used sedition, I don't know how you say that, sedition or sedation charge, were sentenced last week to prison terms ranging from 15 to 18 years. So you know he's going to get a lot. Anyway, the Justice Department wants the 39-year-old Taro to spend more than 3 decades in prison. Damn. They described him as the ringleader of a plot to use violence to shatter the cornerstone of American democracy and overturn the election victory by Joe Biden. Okay? But anyway, Taro wasn't in Washington on January the 6th. He was arrested 2 days earlier in a separate case. But prosecutors say he helped put in motion, and he also encouraged the violence that stunned the world and interrupted Congress certification of Biden's electoral victory. All right. Anyway, Taro has repeatedly and publicly indicated that he has no regrets about what he helped make happen on January the 6th. Anyway, he was supposed to be sentenced last week in Washington federal court, but his hearing was delayed because U.S. District Judge Timothy Kelly got sick. Kelly, who was nominated to the bench by Trump, sentenced Taro's co-defendants to lengthy prison terms, though far shorter than what prosecutors were seeking. Okay? Anyway, Ethan Nordine, who prosecutors say was the Proud Boys leader on the ground on January 6th, was sentenced to 18 years in prison, tying the record for the longest sentence in the attack. Prosecutors had asked for 27 years for Nordine, who was a Seattle area Proud Boys chapter president. Oath Keepers founder Stuart Rose, who was found guilty of seditious conspiracy in a separate case, was sentenced in May to 18 years in prison. Prosecutors who had sought 25 years for Rose are appealing his sentence in the punishments of other members of his anti-government militia group. All right. Lawyers for the Proud Boys deny that there was any plot to attack the Capitol or stop the transfer of presidential power. There is zero evidence to suggest Taro directed any participants to storm the U.S. Capitol building prior to or during the event, his attorney wrote in court papers. Participating in a plan for the Proud Boys to protest on January the 6th is not the same as directing others on the ground to storm the Capitol by any means necessary. Police arrested Taro in Washington on January the 4th, 2021, on charges that he defaced a Black Lives Matter banner during an earlier rally in the nation's capital. But law enforcement officials later said he was arrested in part over concern about the potential for unrest during the certification. He complied with a judge order to leave the city after his arrest. All right. Now, on January the 6th, dozens of Proud Boys leaders, members, and associates were among the first rioters to breach the Capitol. The mob's assault overwhelmed police, forced lawmakers to flee the House and Senate floors, and disrupted the joint session of Congress for certifying Biden's victory. The backbone of the government's case was hundreds of messages exchanged by Proud Boys in the days leading up to January the 6th. As Proud Boys swarmed the Capitol, Taro cheered them on from afar, writing on social media, "Do what must be done." And he fucked up when he wrote that. In a Proud Boys encrypted group chat later that day, someone asked what they should do next, and Taro responded, "Do it again." So he was telling them to do that. Make no mistake, Taro wrote, or Terrio wrote in another message, "We did this." So yeah, he's guilty of, encouraging them to do what they did. And hopefully he get the right sentence as well. All right. And I'm not even going to read these comments because, a lot of them are like, put his ass in prison, the maximum amount, but some are defending this piece of shit. All right. And that's just on everything. So he was sentenced today. So let's see what sentence he got. And then we are going to get out of here. Okay. Oh, wait a minute. Let me first tell y'all about this before I look up this dude's sentence. So y'all remember the black boy who was shot for ringing the wrong doorbell? Anyway, this lunatic right here is the one that shot him. Let me just show y'all. Okay, and that's the little boy who got killed. So anyway, he was let's see. So Andrew Lester allegedly shot Ralph Y'all. Y'all remember that in April after a teenager mistook the 84-year-old's house as his destination. The right man accused of shooting a black teenager in Missouri when the teen went to the wrong house will have to face a trial in court and is set to be arraigned later this month, according to court records reviewed by People. All right. So we already know what happened in April. 84-year-old Andrew Lester shot 16-year-old Ralph Y'all when the teenager mistakenly went to the wrong house to pick up his twin brothers, okay? After Y'all mistakenly ended up in a house 1 block away from where he was supposed to be, Lester looked my nephew in the eye and shot him in the head. That's what his aunt stated in April. Y'all was in critical condition in the immediate aftermath, but has since made headways in his recovery. A true miracle considering what he survived, the GoFundMe said in an update a few days after Y'all was shot. Okay. Last week, Y'all recounted the incident and told the court that he rang the bell for a while at Lester's house on the day of the incident. The homeowner came to the door, brandished a gun, and said, don't come here ever again, according to the outlet. Once Y'all started to back away, Lester allegedly shot him in the head, according to NBC News, then shot him again. No, shot him again after he fell on the ground. Lester was initially released on a bond, which was set at $20,000, according to court records. According to a filing on Friday, Lester is facing one charge of felony assault in the first degree and another count of felony of armed criminal action with regards to the April the 13th incident in Kansas City, Missouri. The filing states that if Lester is convicted of first charge, he would not be eligible for parole until he serves 85% of his sentence. Lester is scheduled to be arraigned on September the 20th. The prosecuting attorney assistant Savina Bolano and Lester's lawyer Stephen Salomon did not immediately respond to requests for comments when contacted by People on Monday. Okay, so when we get any more updates on that, I will let you guys know, his sentence and things like that. All right, so I'm glad justice is being served because he shouldn't have shot that little boy, and I'm glad that little boy survived and is doing way better now too. Okay, let's see. Hold on. Let me go back. Hold on, y'all. Hold on 1 second. No, I'm on the wrong damn message. Okay, hold on. So we said we're going to look up. What's that boy? Who did we say we was going to look up? I forgot that quick. We are going to look to see how many years somebody just got sentenced, right? Because they just got sentenced today, right? So let's see who that was. I don't forget who it was that quick, y'all. Damn. Who was I just talking about? I know we was talking about the Proud Boys, right? Let me see. I said I wanted to see. Oh, the Proud Boys. Tario. Enrique. Let's see what he was sentenced, if we can find any updated information on there. Enrique. Let's see. Hold on real quick. Enrique Taro. Let's see how long he was sentenced. He was sentenced 22 years, y'all. He got 22 years for the January 6th riot. Okay? 22 years. I bet he will think about this long. Okay? This is crazy. Damn, why even risk your life for bullshit? You know what I'm saying? Because you racist and shit. This dude would be in jail for 22 years. He's 33 years old. No. They asked for a 33-year-old sentence. I mean, a 33-year sentence. And so they gave him 22 instead. How old is this guy? I can't remember. I know I read it once before. I think he's 30 something, right? I think he is. I'm not sure. And he looks like he's mixed with black too. So I'm trying to figure out, why is he in this group if that's what he is mixed with? But you never know. You got all types of shit. But anyway, he is sentenced to 22 years in prison. That's what it is. Okay? And he was sentenced today. So damn. Hey, I Centennial, thank you for stopping by. We're about to get out of here. I got one more story, guys. I want to tell you what Bob Barker died from. And then let's see, Bob Barker caused of death. Okay. So they said he was suffering for years, y'all. He has Alzheimer's. He had Alzheimer's disease. Okay. He suffered from the disease, something he dealt with years before his death last month. Okay. So that's what he died from. So again, my condolences are expressed out to his family and friends and fans. Okay. You know what? He went vegan too, so he can avoid that disease. But going vegan isn't a magic bullet, but it certainly gives people a leg up in preventing or putting off the onset of Alzheimer's disease. So, because he did make it to 99 years old, so that vegan diet must have helped him a lot, But he was pretty old, 99. He was blessed too. That's a long time to be living and stuff. And may he rest in peace, y'all. And then the killer of Beyonce's cousin, I believe, um, he was also sentenced. Let me see. So this is her, Sasha Scare was sentenced to 55 years for murdering Beyonce's cousin. And I guess this is her right here looking tripped out. So she's sentenced to 55 years for killing Beyonce's cousin. This chick right here looking a hot ass mess. Anyway, let's see. She is sentenced to hard time for murdering Beyonce's cousin back in 2021. Okay? She murdered 34-year-old Martell Duran at his upscale apartment near San Antonio. Martell was related to Beyonce through their grandmother. Also had a burgeoning rap career, performing under the name Cantone before he was shot and killed on January 26, 2021. Y'all don't even remember that because I didn't even know her cousin got killed. But anyway, the lady who was a charge of that is or convicted of that is sentenced to 55 years in prison. All right. Let me see why she said she killed him. She said she didn't mean to kill him, Duran, but the two had got into a fight that quickly spun out of control, which is what led to his death. Anyway, prosecutor Ashley Jones was not buying that explanation. She said the defendant knew exactly what she was doing. Um, she was banging on the door to get Martell to come and deal with her, and then she shot him. That is murder. She was taken in on February 6, 2021 for the shooting death of Duran and hit with a felony charge of first-degree murder. An arrest affidavit showed neighbors reported hearing an argument between a man and a woman, followed by a gunshot. Then they had some surveillance footage of the apartment complex, of the dude entering the apartment complex. Or they just had footage of the dude's apartment complex after the shooting. That's what I meant. She was also involved in a fatal shooting. Let's see, is that the same one? Let me see, make sure. In 2019 as well. And was named Marshall's Most Wanted that year on a charge of aggravated robbery with a deadly weapon. If that's why I don't be understanding why these people be hanging with these fucking killers and shit. So she had a little song. She was a singer and a rapper called Higher Quality. So she must, and that was in 2018 or something. So yeah, that's crazy, man. That is crazy, man. But anyway, I'm glad that, justice was served on her as well. All these damn psycho people out here, y'all. Like I always say, you better be careful. You better watch your back because there's some weird ass people out here in this world today that do some senseless crimes and just shit because they mad at you, they jealous, they don't like you. You took something from them any damn reason. You can step on somebody's shoe, they ready to shoot you. So just be careful out here, y'all, for real, because there are a lot of weirdos out here. That's on everything, doing all types of weird shit. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, I am getting ready to get out of here. Thank you guys so much for coming in, checking me out tonight. I know it was late. Again, I had to work and shit, make that money, and I made my quota, half of it anyway. Because I went out kind of late anyway. I was only out for like probably like 2 hours and a half and stuff, and then I came on in, and everything. So that's why I came in late. But tomorrow I won't be able to come on in the morning because I have an appointment to go to early in the morning. I have to go to the urologist to get my acupuncture. And then afterwards, I'm going to work. But I will be in here probably around 7 o'clock, maybe even 6 something to do my next live. I don't know what it's going to be about yet, but I'm daggone sure that I'll know by tomorrow. Okay, it won't be another missing persons case because damn, missing people all day long. But it's good to cover those cases because you do need to know, about all these people that are missing, these kids, because you just never know. And plus, it's just a sad situation when people become missing, killed, tortured, you know, RAPD, and so many things that people do to them. And remember when I gave y'all those pointers on what to do if somebody try to touch you or grab you, you need to make sure you follow those. And also teach your kids self-defense. Let them take a self-defense class, and you take one too, so you can know how to protect yourself in case somebody, try to do something. And if you can't take self-defense, go on YouTube and look at some self-defense videos and stuff and just practice them on like a doll or something like that. Not on a real person, but on a doll or something like that, so you can know what to do just in case. And just basically try to watch your surroundings and watch who you friends with, who even with some relatives and things like that. Watch who you leave your kids with, watch your kids in general and things like that, because you just never know. All right. Other than that, guys, I want to thank you guys so much for coming in. Thank you to Ryan for coming by, showing support. Y'all check him out because once again, he's a great, gamer. Very fun streams and stuff like that. He interacts with the chat and all that. So check him out. Ice Centennial is another gamer. He be driving those 18 wheelers and stuff like that. Check him out. Very fun gamer as well. Interesting. He also talks to you while he is doing his gaming and everything. And check out, all the other people that you see on my chat as well. Just go back to those lives and you'll see them. All right. Don't forget, guys, if you want to show support to this channel, you can show support by thumbing up this video. Okay, you can do that. You can also hit that bell notification so you can be notified of any upcoming video, and you can subscribe to the channel. Okay, check out my other videos, my shorts, and go to TikTok and check me out there if you have a TikTok page. Okay, and if you're really feeling great, you can also do a Cash App to $Shades too. All right, because all Cash Apps are used to better this channel. You know what I'm saying? It ain't used. It's not used for no weed because I don't smoke. It's not used for no alcohol because I don't drink. It's not used for no cigarettes because I don't smoke cigarettes. It's going to be used for this channel. All right. So if you do donate, thank you in advance. All right, and I appreciate it. Other than that, guys, I just want to say again, thank you so much for tuning into Shades Tube. I'm wishing you guys a very blessed evening, night. Get some sleep. And just dream about some good thoughts and be positive. And I'll see you guys in my next video. And happy and blessed the day is Tuesday. Happy and blessed Wednesday in advance. Oh, I forgot to tell you, I hope you guys had a great Labor Day, okay? Because I did, And, I'll see you in my next video. Peace out, y'all. Thank you so much. Peace, y'all, and good night. Sweet dreams, Hines.